What's up, everyone? I'm gonna actually prop up. Let's get some Genesis games. I'm gonna prop up the camera a little bit. How's that look? That's how we do, baby. Sitting on the floor, about to go through some stuff. This is also how I play video games. No, I'm just kidding. I usually sit in that chair, which is nice and low to the floor, kind of like the old days. All right. So, today, what's up, Lucy? How's it going? Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to look at part 2 of the 301 yard sale. So, just to describe what that is real quick. Down here near the Raleigh, North Carolina area, there's a route called 301, and every year they do 100-mile yard sales, 100 miles full of yard sales in June. So I've been doing it every year since I moved down here because it's a really good opportunity to get up early, you know, hit the yard sales, as many as you can. And you know me, I'm jogging, I'm running all over the place trying to find good deals. But I genuinely find it fun. It is exhausting. After 5 hours of doing the yard sales, you're pretty much ready to tap out. So I did 5 hours on Friday, 5 hours on Saturday. And today we're going to look at, I already did part 1 of what I found on Friday, and this is what I found on Saturday. I'd say my Saturday was actually a bit better. I found a lot of oddball stuff we're going to go through. Why am I not centered? That's right, because I always forget the cameras. Anyway. So a lot of oddball stuff we're going to go through, some books, a bunch of movies, obviously, and I had a good video game find, which was very nice. So, let's see. Should I show what I'm keeping? First, we're going to go over everything that I got on Saturday at the yard sales that I'm going to be selling, to fund the stuff that I did find and to make a little bit of profit. So I'll get these out of the way first. These I got early in the morning for about $1 a piece. These are Kiss. I'm not a Kiss fan at all, frankly. But Kiss, you know, the Kiss fans out there are a little crazy. These are not in the best shape. This one, I guess it's the 4 band members. And yeah, the 4 band members. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm not a Kiss fan. But these I should be able to get like $40 for. I spent $1 on them. So, and it was early in the morning. I was like, why not? The guy was making me good deals. He also gave me this basically for free. He just kind of threw it in there. And actually, he threw it in with these. I spent $5 on both of these. $5 altogether, not each. And then he threw in this Gundam trading card pack, which I had a feeling was going to be worth a bit. And this is worth like $40-50. These are not in the prettiest of shape. This one's not bad. This one's has some yellowing. Cool as hell. I wish I was in a position financially where I could keep them. I love Gundam. But I can't. So I'm going to be selling these as well. Probably, I'm thinking $30 to $40 a piece. These are really cool, though. These are from the early 90s, these trading cards here. It seems to me they're from the early 90s, so I think that's pretty cool. And we've got the classic Conspiracy, the Conspiracy Classic. This was written by a guy who used to work in the naval intelligence of the U.S., and he broke free and wrote this book, which is full of conspiracy theories, some which have come true, some which are in the process of coming true, some that haven't, some are a little too nutty for most people to, but hey, I have faith in the immunity of my mind. I can smell bullshit when I see it. I read all the time. And I actually have a copy of this, of course. I picked this up to sell it. This is I believe a first edition, which came out in 1991. This was reprinted maybe 15 years ago or something like that. And I think this is a first edition paperback, if I'm not mistaken. So I should be able to get over $100 for this. Believe it or not. Crazy. I know. Here we have a game. A guy that I met early in the morning at a yard sale told me that he had some video games on the inside. So he was nice enough to invite me into the house to show me what he had. And he had a bunch of PS3 games. And if I'm being honest, they were sports games and Call of Duty games. Looking back, I should have probably picked them all up for $1 and traded them in somewhere, but I didn't. The one that I picked up was the oddball out of the bunch here, SpongeBob on the PS3. I hear this game is pretty bad, which makes it easier for me to sell it. I have 1 or 2 SpongeBob games which are supposed to be pretty good. But this one is supposed to be pretty bad, so I have no hard feelings selling it. It's worth around 20 bucks. And I did exchange my information with him. He said he had some PS1 and PS2 games from when he was a kid somewhere in one of the homes that he's moved from or something. So he's going to be calling me, he said, or texting me within the next couple of weeks. If I don't hear from him, I'll probably shoot him a text in the next couple of weeks, because I'm trying to see what he has in terms of PS1 and PS2 for my sake. And here we have one of the cleanest Mattel footballs I've ever seen. These are from like the late 80s, I want to say, 78, something like that. It actually doesn't say on the back when it's from, but this thing is fully functional. Take a look at this. And I get tackled, right? Boom! You hear? Isn't that so awesome? These things are cool. Honestly, I want it in the collection, but I need the money more right now. So I'm going to probably sell this off. It's not something I'll play very often. Sorry, I'm like cleaning it up here. But it's in immaculate condition for its age. So, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, now we get into the movies, which is why we're here, right? Keep in mind, these are all movies that I already have, that I'm not interested in, that I'm selling off, etc., etc. So, check the comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. How's everybody doing in the chat? We've got 4 people in there. How's everybody doing? Here we have Jaws the Revenge. Picked this up for $1, I think. I'm not even sure if I could flip it for more than 10, but hey, it was it was an instinct decision there. This one I know I could get something for, and I already have it. So this is Volume 1 of the Street Fighter II Japanese anime. This is an incredible Street Fighter anime that's a lot like the movie that they did, the animated movie, not the American movie. This is actually really good and digs into the lore of the characters, and great fight sequences, great cell animation, hand-drawn animation, of course. And so, like I said, I already have it, so that I'll be moving out of here. All right, I'm gonna grab a stack. Here we have The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. And how's that? Yeah, that's better. The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. I'm pretty sure I can get a few for that. Officer and a Gentleman. A lot of these were either a quarter or free. A lot of people told me, you know, fill up the bag. I had like 5 movies. They gave me a bag, and then they said, fill up the bag with more movies. I swear, like 3 or 4 people said that. So a lot of these came out to be free, including these 3 copies of King Kong Godzilla, which I figured I can get at least 10 for on eBay. But apparently not. They're selling new for like $6.50 shipped. Crazy. Here's another copy. I found this recently at a thrift shop or something for my own collection. But this is House Guest. This is a 90s comedy classic with Sinbad and Phil Hartman, who actually had really good chemistry in this movie. It's actually pretty underrated. I think it's a good flick. We don't make movies like this anymore, like simple concept with 2 comedic actors who are kind of bouncing off of each other. You could tell there's a lot of improv. And it's a family movie at the bottom. You know, it's a PG movie, but it definitely has scenes for adults and for kids alike. It doesn't treat the kids like idiots. This was the 90s. Keep that in mind. That wasn't something that filmmakers did. They treated everybody with the equal amount of respect, no matter if you were a kid or an adult. Because basically the movie was perceived differently by both young and old. And that was kind of the brilliance of cinema up to the last, I don't know, 15 years or so, where we don't really do that kind of thing anymore. Everything is a Marvel movie, essentially. Here we have Dogma. This is the single disc version here. But this is still fetching, probably around $15, $12 to $15. All right. This one was free. I was basically forced to pick it up. It's not worth selling, so probably going to get rid of that one. This was another free one that I picked up, like, maybe. And I looked it up, and it's going for like 15 or 20 bucks, and it's sealed, so great. This one was another free one. Haven't looked this one up yet. I doubt it's worth anything. But I liked the red case. American Horror Story here. This is 1984. Not something that I'm interested in, so I will be moving that. This was a big find here. This is worth like 30 bucks sealed. This is Armed and Dangerous, and I picked up the Blu-ray recently after selling my DVD, and this will make it my DVD, the Blu-ray even cheaper if you want to look at it that way, because I'm going to be selling that off for like 30 bucks. The People vs. Larry Flynt. This one is out of print, hard to find. I do already have it in the collection. Bluey. This was another free one. Bluey. I figured I could sell that for at least 10. We'll see. I'm not sure. Invisible Dad and My Magic Dog. These are two films I remember from the 90s, and I was like, man, I haven't seen those since the video store days. Let me give those a shot. So I might keep this. If it's worth selling, I'll sell it. I'm not too hung up on it. All right. Yeah. And at the same place, I found a non-double feature version of Armed and Dangerous with John Candy and Eugene Levy. A film that I do love. This is a buddy cop film. With a little bit of action, but more reliant on the laughs and the comedy, sort of the comedy of errors. But hey, to see John Candy shooting bad guys every once in a while, it's pretty cool. And good chemistry by Eugene Levy and John Candy, obviously from SCTV. And Meg Ryan is in this, very cute. And yeah, Mark Lester directs this one, so it's got some decent action. But another brand new sealed version of this, and now this goes in its condition new. This goes for like 50 or 60 bucks. So, there you go. That's how we do. These two, this one, oh, actually, I don't know how that got in there. This was from a thrift shop, but whatever. Anyway, here we have Thunder Road. I got this for $1. I could probably get 12 or 15 for it. I already have it on Blue. This was another free one. Mary Rice Hopkins and Puppets with a Heart. No idea. But I looked it up, and it's going for 20 bucks. And it's sealed. So there you go. Got a copy of Tideland. I'm thinking of selling both my copies of Tideland, maybe. And funding a Blu-ray of some kind. I'm not sure if it's available on Blu-ray in America or if I'd have to get it overseas. Either way, I do want this one on Blue because it's a Terry Gilliam film, and it's a damn good one. It's like Alice in Wonderland turned upside down, which is actually pretty much what the cover is trying to get across here. Jeff Bridges is in this. You absolutely hate his character in this for good reason. And Jodelle Ferland is the child actor in this, and she does a marvelous job as sort of an aloof, curious little girl who's surrounded by abuse and violence and, how do you say, decrepitude. Just everything is rusted and falling apart. It's a really good Alice in Wonderland, twisted Alice in Wonderland tale. But I am going to be selling that because, well, I have it on DVD. But like I said, I might sell both off and try to get the Blu-ray. This one, Martin, I'm pretty confident I still have. Yeah, there's Martin up there. So I have two copies of this, two exact copies of Martin, which is a George Romero, excuse me guys, sorry. Which is a George Romero film, vampire film, that is unlike any vampire film you will ever see in your entire life. It plays with your expectations constantly. You really don't know the truth about the main character. And it's quite the social commentary as well. This is from the 70s, late 70s, 77. And one of the more underrated and underappreciated Romero films, his vampire film. But again, not like any vampire film you've ever seen. It does have a little bit of the gore, but it's more about the chilling atmosphere and the kind of psychological aspect of the horror. So I am thinking these are worth like 25 each, so, and the Blu-ray goes for 30, so, or 30 or 40, so I'm thinking of selling both of my DVD copies to fund the Blu-ray at some point. All right, let's see. Next up, we have the Hunter S. Thompson sort of biopic here that came out well before Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This is Where the Buffalo Roam. This is Eddie Murphy, Bill Murray, and Peter Boyle. And this is actually, I prefer this over Terry Gilliam's Fear and Loathing. I don't know why, I just feel like Bill Murray gets Hunter S. Thompson way better than Johnny Depp does. Johnny Depp's is almost a caricature. This is more of like a realistic portrayal of the man. You could watch interviews with Hunter S. Thompson and then watch this movie and see what I'm talking about. Peter Boyle's in this, playing the character that Benicio del Toro played, essentially, in the it's not a remake, but it's just a retelling of the novel. And okay, maybe this one wasn't based on the screenplay by John Kay. Okay, so this is, yeah, I guess the other one's more so based on the novel, but they play very similarly. It has been quite some time since I've seen either of them, frankly, but I remember liking this one a bit more. Here we have a Soviet film. I found 2 Soviet films. You'll see one of them in a... Actually, yeah, you'll see the other in a second. And to see Soviet films out at a yard sale in North Carolina Soviet-era films is pretty rare. So here's a MGM World Films Prisoner of the Mountains. This is one I already have in the collection, in my, Soviet film collection, which is slowly growing, is very small. This one's 96, directed by Sergei Bodrov, who is he's one of the more popular, I'll say post-Soviet filmmakers from Russia, because since this came out in 96, but he was making movies under the Soviet regime as well. But this one I've yet to see. This one is worth a bit, so I'm selling it. I already have it. This one I got to double check. I'm pretty sure I already have this. And this one is brand new and sealed, so it'll obviously fetch a little bit more than the loose copy that I have, or the unsealed copy. I'm pretty confident I have this. I know I've found it before, and I don't think I would have sold it because, again, it's Russian/Soviet era. This one is, again, not the USSR, not Soviet era, but still coming off of the Soviet era, we'll say. And this one I'm pretty sure I still have, so I will be moving that sealed one. And here I found 2 copies of this. One of them was missing disc 1, and this one was complete, in good shape. This still fetches like 15 or 20 bucks easily. This is out of print. Very popular movie that's out of print is always going to fetch a little bit of money. The Blu-ray goes for even more. All right, so that's going to do that. What's up, everybody? Anybody in the chat? I'm not getting much chat action, which is unlike the live streams. But I just want to say hello to everybody that's watching, either on the live stream or on the rerun, the archive. Oh, we have a few more, actually, ones that I'm selling. Actually, I'm going to save that for the last one. This one, Rock Icon, this was another free one that I picked up. Like, maybe it's worth something. If not, I'll take it for the case. It was literally free. When I say they're giving away DVDs at this point, they literally are. So go to the yard sales and the flea markets and whatnot. Sorry, my hair's bugging me. Okay, so anybody who watched the day 1 or part 1 of the yard sale pickups, you would have seen that I picked up a DVD copy, an on-demand copy of some kind. It's not entirely legitimate, but people are paying big bucks for it anyway, of The Song of the South. The Disney film from the 50s that was banned and censored for the last, who knows, 50, 60 years. They pretend as if it doesn't exist because it has, maybe some racial stereotyping, some insensitivities, despite the lead actors, a lot of them being black. I haven't seen the film. I can't speak on how insensitive it is. These things don't really bother me in film. I'm an adult. I recognize what they are and how time works. So they don't really bother me like a lot of people are bothered in the modern age. You'll never believe what I found the next day. So day 1 at the yard sales, I find Song of the South on DVD. Day 2, I find Song of the South again on DVD, the same copy, but brand spanking new and sealed. Isn't that amazing? I have never seen this in illegitimate form or legitimate form in all of my time thrifting, 15, 20 years, whatever. And 2 days in a row, I find this at 2 different places. Now, we're in the South. I get it. I've been in the South for 15 years, though, and I've never seen this. But 2 copies in 2 days at 2 different places, 2 different yard sales is wild. And this one's worth like 60 to 80 bucks, maybe even more. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see. But and it's great for me because I was contemplating selling the unsealed version, and I kind of wanted it for the collection because it's historical. I want to watch it, etc. And now I don't have to feel bad about keeping that unsealed one because I have a brand new sealed copy that is going to fetch way more. Now, next up is the coolest, what would have been the coolest find of both days, and one of the coolest finds I've had in a long time, but it's missing disc 1 out of 2 discs. I have disc 2 in here. It is a classic anime. Byron, there we go. What's up, Byron? Thank you for tuning in. I hope you are doing well. I am in the midst, I just went over all of the stuff from day 2 of the yard sales that I went to on Saturday. I went through all of the stuff that I'm selling, and so feel free to, yeah, I'm not even going to show them, but feel free to check out the archive later on so you can see what I'm actually selling out of the stuff that I picked up. And the stuff that I am keeping, I actually have right here, and we're going to do right now. So, but the last one that I wanted to talk about that I put in my sell pile because I'm not sure how I'm going to handle this. Damn, this was such a good find, and I opened it and my heart was broken when I saw some skincare DVD in there. Urotsuki Doji. Urotsuki Doji. So you guys would not know what this is unless you are a hardcore anime fan, or if you're into hentai. No judgment on my part. If you like anime, animated porn, that's on you. That's cool. It's not my thing. This might not even be my thing, but it is classic anime, and this is really where the tentacle porn, hentai kind of subgenre comes into play, and which is super popular still to today. Urotsuki Doji is known for its tentacles and for its sex, and it says on the back here, contains graphic violence and sexual situations. I love this. Absolutely not for viewers under 18 years of age. Absolutely not. So, Urotsuki Doji is one that I've been hesitant to watch, frankly, because I don't know if it's my type of thing, but we're going to give it a shot one day. Now, unfortunately, like I said, it's missing disc 1. This set goes for over $100 easily. It has disc 2, which is part 4 and 5 of the OVA, 200-minute OVA or something like that. And boy, if anybody has disc 1 that they don't need or would be willing to sell, please let me know so I can complete this Urotsuki Doji perfect collection here. So pissed when I opened that. I even asked the dude, I was like, do you know where this disc is? And he was like, no, I have no idea. Byron, awesome. How are you? It is blazing hot here. Over in Italy, is that right, Byron? If I'm not mistaken? Twistas, what's up, Twistas? Thanks for stopping in. They just put out a Blu-ray of Urotsuki Doji recently. The DVD set isn't worth much anymore. Okay, interesting. I did look up this set. It was still fetching quite a bit. But maybe that's because people haven't caught on to the fact that there's a Blu-ray. That sometimes happens where it takes a few months, maybe even up to a year for the original DVD version to kind of simmer down. So, but I'm going to hold out hope that one day I could find disc 1 on eBay or something like that. Yeah, that's a good question, Byron. I'm not exactly sure. Like I say, no judgment from me. To each his own, you know, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Have fun. No shame. Oh, you're in Canada. Okay. Why did I think you were in Italy? Maybe you're Italian? Anyway, okay. It's hot in Canada. Well, shit. Imagine how hot it is in North Carolina. It's hot as the devil's anus. All right. So, moving on to the things that I am keeping, which admittedly are not as much as the things I'm selling, which is good. That's the way it has to be. But is a little bit more than I usually find because I found some cool video games. So, I do want to say, if you guys are enjoying this live stream and you're new to the live stream, feel free to give it a subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications if you want to see more like it. I will be doing plenty of these as time goes on. We've got a nice little chat right now, and feel free to give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying the live stream. So, I'm going to get the boring books out of the way. Don't worry. Italian, lived here for a tiny bit. Oh, okay, so you're from Italy, living in Canada. Okay, so Italian-Canadian. Totally understand. All right, so here we have a couple books. I know, don't fall asleep. 7 Theories of Human Nature, Christianity, Freud, Lorenz, Marx, Sartre, Skinner, and Plato. I think this will be a nice sort of day read. I could probably breeze through this 100-something page book in a day and kind of exercise some ideas, compare some ideas. It's kind of like comparative philosophy, and I kind of like that in a succinct package. So I'm going to give that a shizzy. Here we have what's supposed to be a really good Al Capone biography. And a good biography is always a good biography of the time itself and the setting. And so I think this one is going to encapsulate the Prohibition era and Capone's time very well in America, as well as elucidate who Capone was and what he was all about. So definitely want to read that because I've heard a lot about Capone, and I kind of have gathered a lot about Capone over the years. I've learned a little bit about what he was and who he was. But I'd love to sit down and read a biography at some point about the mob. So, oh, thank you, Byron. I'm glad somebody enjoyed them. Luckily, that's it. Just these two, Capone and Seven Theories of Human Nature. And now we're going to get to, here, I'm going to separate the movies real quick. Oh, there's actually some more stuff that I am selling, but it's video game related. So right now I'm just separating the video games from the movies. I actually found, yeah, most of them are video games. It's crazy. So not much movies for me this time around to keep in the collection. But, you know, that's getting harder and harder to do at this point. I've purged my collection down to the point where everything I have in it I want to watch for some reason or another. It's very succinct. It's very curated at this point. But I found a Criterion for 50 cents, and I couldn't pass that up. It's Robert Bresson's Alcázar Balthazar. So I don't know anything about this. I don't think I've seen any Robert Bresson films. I'm assuming French filmmaker. It's in black and white from '66. So yeah, that sounds pretty French to me. French New Wave. And but yeah, it's in perfect shape. Actually, it's got a few light scratches, nothing crazy. But again, for 50 cents. And don't know if this one is on Blu-ray, but doesn't matter. I'll be keeping that. I finally found a copy, so you guys are going to laugh, but I've been wanting to see this film for a very long time now. I missed it when I was younger. When I was younger, I was just like, what the fuck is that? That is not something I'm interested in. And here at 37 or 38 years old, I literally have forgotten my age. I'd have to do math real quick. 37 or 38, one of those. I actually want to sit down and watch Mike Myers in Cat in the Hat. This film is the only film that aesthetically reminds me of Speed Racer, and I don't feel like we get films like that at all anymore, almost green screen films that have a very interesting stylized look, almost an animated look to them. This is going to be weird. This is going to be bizarre. Mike Myers is a comedic genius, so I'm curious to see what he does with this. And it's so funny. I want to watch the movie, and then I want to play the game. The game is supposed to be a clone of Klonoa. Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil on the PS2. So, and I've been finding this on full screen over and over and over again, or absolutely destroyed because it's a kid's movie, and, you know, kids don't treat their movies well, frankly. And, but this one is in perfect shape. It's almost like new, like it was just removed from its shrink wrap. So, happy to have that in the collection finally. I'm not sure if that's on Blu-ray. Yes, curated collection is the way to go. Yes. Put it on. Very relaxing, very romantic in my mind. Yeah, hey, hopefully I can share that romanticism with somebody one day, because I think it's a cool thing to do too. Like, have a bunch of movies to sit, you know, pick through. I need to find a girl that thinks it's cool, obviously, because a lot of girls aren't going to think it's cool, and that's fine. I'm confident with who I am. It's a cute movie. So the Cat in the Hat movie is a cute movie, says Byron. That's good to hear. I'm looking for surreal, weird, and even, like, controversially, like, just odd, you know? That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Twista says, I saw Cat in the Hat as a kid. It was pretty weird and forgettable. I don't remember much of it. Fair enough. Hey, as long as I get weird, I'll be happy. For $1, can't go wrong. And, again, it's one I've been wanting to see. It looks aesthetically similar to Speed Racer, which is one of my favorite films from that decade, the aughts. Last we have, or no, second to last, we have The Education of Little Tree. This is a 97 film I've never heard of. That sort of like America and the Native American cultures kind of trying to get along and redress grievances from the past, and that kind of a movie takes place during the 30s. It says here, little boy, that boy is Little Tree, sent to live with his mountain-dwelling grandparents after the loss of his mother and father. So, yeah, so it's some kid who's related to a Native American tribe, and it is a Depression-era drama with Native Americans and with a Native American edge to it. And I think that's really interesting. I've never heard of this film. It's supposed to be pretty good, so I'm going to give that a shot. Hard to find. It is out of print. And last but not least, I was actually happy to find this because it's a new movie, a movie that came out last year, that came to theaters, limited run in theaters. But I am somewhat interested in it. Biopics are hit or miss for me. But this Reagan one, I do want to see. I'm not going to go into politics, but Reagan is somebody that I know a bit about. Some things I hate, some things I like from what he did. That's, you know, the way that most presidents go usually. And Sean McNamara directs this biopic with Dennis Quaid. I like Dennis Quaid. I've always liked Dennis Quaid. I think he'll do a good job as Reagan. And yeah, happy to have this pretty much brand new flick. This flick came out on Blu-ray pretty recently. So I'm happy to have that in the collection. All right, so next up, we're going to go through the video games. Actually, I'll put the ones that I'm selling in one pile. And the others I'm going to put in the pile that I'm keeping. Okay, so the ones that I'm selling, we've got Sonic Generations. Oh, Byron says, all good. I'm a weirdo, and you just find your person who is into that. As you likely saw, gotta meet someone at soul level, and doing what you love is the best way. You're great. Thank you, Byron. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. I love watching political stuff, though I don't understand everything. I find history fascinating. Yeah, I'm more of a history person than I am a politics, but if you're an informed history person, then politics is intertwined with that. Religion is intertwined with that. All of it is intertwined, and so that's why I pay attention to what's going on today, which I'll just say, I really shouldn't get into it. Maybe one day. Not happy about what's going on. That's all I'll say. Sonic Generations is a game that I've yet to play. I have 2 copies of this on the 360. I want to sell them both off and get the PS3 version because the PS3 is just more my console. And I learned recently that my original Xbox isn't reading discs. And this is 360, so I can still play this. But my original Xbox stopped reading discs, which pisses me off. But yeah, Sonic Generations Platinum hits. This is supposed to be a great Sonic game. Here we have one of the better finds. Now, all these games I got for $2 to $3. It was probably somewhere like $2.50 a piece because he cut me a deal. But they all came from the same seller at a yard sale. This is the big one. Jak and Daxter HD collection here. This one goes for 25 or 30 bucks. Big one, meaning it goes for a little bit. But I already have it, so easily going to be selling that off to make a few bucks. Twista says, haha, my original Xbox also stopped reading discs too. I think we got to replace the disc readers. Yeah, no shit. Luckily, I work at a game shop that repairs consoles, so I might be able to get a decent deal and get that done. But we'll see. Next up, we have a nice steelbook of a Lord of the Rings game here, Shadow of War, which I want to say is the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, if I'm not mistaken. I already have this in its regular form, so I have no problem selling this and getting 20 bucks for it. I like the steelbook, but I like the money better right now, unfortunately. Now, the rest of these are all games that I am keeping. A couple of, I'll go over it as we go. So my Wii U collection grows, and one of these is only available on the Wii, or the Wii U, and that is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. This one didn't get a re-release on the Switch or anything like that. Not that I know of, at least. Not that I saw. So that makes this an exclusive Kirby game, which this is why I collect Wii U. I collect it for the exclusives, and for the things that I can't afford on the Switch, like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I bought this when it came out, day one. I absolutely adored this game. I played through it. I beat it with my brother. I loved the music. I loved everything about this game. David Wise came back to do the music. Beautiful graphics and use of the side-scrolling format. It gets brutally difficult and challenging. No waggle garbage. The best secrets that I've ever seen in any platform game. They are just so clever and always keep you they're wondrous. You find them and you just have this sense of wonder, and it's such a wonderful game. It is a Nintendo Select, but like I said, this does have a Switch version that I would like to upgrade to at some point. I'm happy to play it on the Wii U for now. So the Wii U collection grows to, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Wii U games in total, and most of those are going to be exclusives or things that are on the Switch that I'm not going to be paying an exorbitant amount for. Next up, we got what is my favorite, I think the best Fight Night game. They just really get all the mechanics perfectly right in this game. Fight Night Champion, and I love the kind of road to the champion narrative kind of story that's told, from rags to riches to rags again, and gets really difficult, and each fighter has their own sort of way that they fight, and you have to learn that pattern, almost like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out in a sense. But this is more straight up boxing and, you know, really trying to block punches and time your punches and combo things together. And, you know, I used to be into boxing back when I enjoyed watching grown men beat the shit out of other grown men. But I don't enjoy that anymore. I like seeing that in the movies, but not in reality. No judgment to people who do. Like I said, it's just not my thing. Sometimes when I express my opinion, because I'm very opinionated and candid, people, even in real life, feel as if they're being attacked by me when I say I don't like something and I think something is childish or for children. I'm not attacking you. I'm not judging you. I just think, and I don't think fighting is for children. You get my point. My point is some people are offended by some of my opinions sometimes. And, oh well. Byron says, I've been playing Undertale on Switch lately. Nice. I've heard good things about that one. It's kind of a pacifist, Earthbound-esque turn-based RPG. Isn't that right? Anyway, Fight Night Champion is awesome. I can't wait to load this up. Hopefully on the Xbox. Yeah, I have a 360 now. That's right, with an HDMI. So I can load this up and go some rounds with my brother. That'll be fun. This one is all of these are going in my collection. So this one is awesome, guys. You'll appreciate this, my movie fans out there. This is supposed to be like a really bad B-movie with terrible voice acting, but Mickey Rourke voices the main character. And I have listened to some of the lines that he says. Type in Rogue Warrior Mickey Rourke lines on YouTube, and you will find some of the funniest fucking lines that have ever been recorded for any video game, or any ADR for that matter. This is supposed to be a bad game, a very bad and short game, but I must play it for Mickey Rourke's narration. It is so over the top and ridiculous, and he's just like fucking cursing, and sometimes you feel like he's cursing out of character, like he's mad at having to do the voice acting, and so he's just like, motherfucker. He's like, Elmer. It is so funny, guys. You have to watch out. You have to watch some videos on Rogue Warrior. Even if you're not into video games, just watch it. You will appreciate it, I promise. By the way, these all came from a collector who just was moving his stuff to another collector for a good price. And they're all complete, or as complete as they could be. What's up, George? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. We're going through the last of the games that I found at the yard sales. We've already gone through all the movies and the stuff I'm selling. Feel free to catch it on the archive. Next up, we have Ratchet & Clank All for One, which I'm always reminded of Brand Nubian for my hip-hop heads out there. All for one and one for all. Anyway, this is a Ratchet & Clank game. I want all of the Ratchet & Clank games. Some are better than others. I understand that. But I want all of them in the collection because I'm a fan of the franchise. And so I have... Let's see, is this the only one I have on... Yeah, this is the only one I have on the PS3 so far. I've got most of the PS2 ones. I need the PS4 and the newest PS5 one. But Ratchet & Clank All for One, I love these games. These games are so much fun. So, kind of like 3D platformers with an emphasis on weaponry. All the weapons are crazy over-the-top machine guns and, like, shrink rays and, like, crazy loony sci-fi weapons. So, I love the Ratchet & Clank series. It says free downloadable game with purchase. Quest for Booty. Oh, I wish I could download that. I doubt that... Oh, there it is, right there. Must have been a bit of an older game. It expired in 2012. You think it still works? Oh, wow. It's got alternate artwork. That's pretty cool. Look at that. You don't see that for video games from the PS3 era very often. Anyway, sorry. I'm doing my instinctual disc checking. Sounds good, George. Excellent. Hey, everybody that's in the chat, I just want to say thank you so much for checking out my live stream. We're going 35 minutes in here, 40 minutes in or so. Got a few more games to talk about, and then that's going to do it for this live stream for today. There will be more. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe and the little bell for notifications, and hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the live stream. 5 thumbs up so far, that's fantastic. If we could get it a little higher, that would be even more awesome. All right, next up we have here what appears to be a Diablo ripoff with a Viking Nordic setting as opposed to, I don't know, Dante's Inferno, a hellish setting, an infernal setting. This looks pretty fun. It's only one player, sadly. That sucks, actually, because I was hoping that I'd be able to play this with my brother co-op, because otherwise I'm not sure I'm going to actually sit down and play an isometric Western action-based RPG. It's just not quite my thing. I'm more into the first-person Western RPGs or the third-person ones. What's the difference between PS2 and 3? Just one number. No, I'm just kidding. Well, the Sony PS2 was the predecessor to the PS3. The PS2 comes out in 2000. PS3 comes out in 06. Oh, and the PS3 is just a little bit more powerful, has more memory, more RAM. Think of it like a computer. So it's an upgraded computer, essentially. And today's consoles are all pretty much like computers. But the PS3 is just a little more powerful. I prefer the PS1 and the PS2. I feel like the diversity of genre and games is much vaster than the PS3. But the PS3 does still have a good diversity of games. It's the PS4 and beyond where games start to seem more and more alike. And what I'm talking about is bigger games, blockbuster games. The PS4 and the PS5 and the Switch, that's sort of the dawn of indie physical games, independent games, AA games, A games. There's always been AA games, but you catch my point. All of the big games are pretty much alike. That's what I'm trying to say. George says PS2 to PS3 is like DVD to Blu-ray, basically. That's a really good way to put it, actually. And actually, the PS2 player, the PS2 was a DVD player. PS3 is a Blu-ray player. So your analogy fits in more than one way. But yeah, Vikings. I got this for a couple bucks. I thought it was co-op 2 players. It's not. I'm going to do some research and see if this one needs to stay in the collection. Just got a sticker off there while talking, so now it's nice and pretty. This I didn't even know existed, frankly, so I'll be able to sell my GTA 4 and GTA 4 Liberty City Stories because this has all of them on one disc. The original GTA 4 and The Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and the Damned. So the entire GTA 4 as well as the 2 DLC, which are basically like full games essentially. And it has them all on one disc. I do need to verify that they are all on one disc because, you know, these days you never know. But at this time, they were still pretty much putting all of the game on the discs. There are a few exceptions, unfortunately. Excuse me. But yeah, love GTA 4. Love the Eastern European sort of protagonist, the story. I still need to play Liberty City Stories. But I'm looking forward to doing that at some point. Jolly Good, what's up? How are you doing? Thank you guys so much for getting that thumbs up to 7. That means a lot to me. That's a pretty high number for my little small streams. So thank you to anybody who did that. I also have super chats available if you guys wanted to donate real money for whatever reason. Any money that I make from the channel goes aside and put into the channel. So I would appreciate any of you doing that. But I really appreciate the thumbs up, the comments, and the subscribes, guys. My channel is getting its steam back, and I really appreciate that. Next, we have one of the few Sonic games that were exclusive to the Wii, I'm pretty sure. I think this was exclusive to the Wii. Forgive me if I'm wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But this is Sonic and the Secret Rings. I don't know much about this, but it's a Sonic game, and I want all the Sonic 3D games. And I want to try them for myself. Everybody says they suck. I'll be the judge of that. Jolly Good! GTA 4 used to be my favorite GTA game as a kid, especially the cheat codes and messing around. Oh, yeah. So many good times. Here we have UFC 2. I've wanted to pick up a UFC game, and I got this for $1. She was asking 2. I said, how about 1? And she said, okay. And so this one is couch co-op 2 players, so me and my brother can beat the shit out of each other in a video game, which is great. We love to do. And this one I just noticed has a few surface scratches. Uh-oh. Did I make a boo-boo? Uh-oh. Yeah. Come on, man. Rookie mistake. This one's pretty scratched up. We'll see if it works. And last but not least, I already have this on the Xbox, and it's a better, nicer condition version, frankly. This one's missing the manual. Van Helsing. Why do I have Van Helsing? This game is said to be a Devil May Cry clone. I love Devil May Cry. I've beaten the first 3. Actually, pretty recently I went through those games again. I love them. 1 and 3 are my favorites. 2 is okay. Van Helsing, I hear, is a clone, a ripoff, whatever you want to call it. And that really interests me because I am interested in the subject matter. Van Helsing, the movie, as a concept is something I want to love. I do love the concept. But the movie, I don't know what it is. It just does not culminate in an entertaining film for me. There's no attachment to anything that's going on, any of the characters. Hugh Jackman's cool. The action scenes are cool. There's some actually pretty cool practical effects and set pieces. But I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what the last half hour of Van Helsing, the movie, looks like. I just don't. I could never get there. Which is crazy because I like the big, bombastic, big budget B-movie disasters, right? But I can't get into Van Helsing. I can't finish it. I need to do that. I need to try it again. Because it's like a Castlevania movie. It's a little over the top. It's ridiculous. I feel like there will come a time where I enjoy Van Helsing, maybe even love it. Because that's the way I am. I might watch something 3 times, which I've watched up to this point, Van Helsing 3 times, and I can't finish it. But at some point in my life, something changes, a light bulb goes on or off in my head, and all of a sudden I like a movie that I used to hate. It happens. I change. People change as a person. And I don't block that change. I let that change flow. If I like it, I like it. I can't help myself. And some people get on me for changing my mind. It's like, well, hey, I'm an adult. I change my mind, I think, all the time about things. Yes, including movies and games. But anyway, this is a PS2 version of Van Helsing. I'm okay with the Xbox One. It looks a little prettier, even though my Xbox stopped working. I'll have to get another Xbox. But Van Helsing, I hear good things about the game. Definitely want to give that a try. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. That's an empty box. Thank you all so much for tuning in for this little live stream here. We're going to get back to finishing up the Blu-ray collection this week for sure, so tune in probably tomorrow night. I think I have some time tomorrow night that I should be able to talk about the drama films and then finally some of the musicals and sports dramas and stuff like that that I have in my Blu-ray collection that I want to finish up talking about because I think we're on, what, part 6 or something like that? Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys checking in. We had a nice full live stream today. Bunch of thumbs up. I really appreciate that. I'm going to give one more call to action to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate that, and that would really help with exposure and growing the channel, which is definitely something I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be a huge YouTuber, a giant YouTuber with millions of subscribers. That's not what I want. I want a small community, bigger than I have now, but a small community of film lovers and nice people that we could talk about film and I could share my experiences with you and my opinions. So anyways, guys, I love everybody that joined the live stream. I love all of you guys. I thank you so much for checking in. And you guys got that thumbs up to 9. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Until next time, Bored Cyborg is out. Peace.